Well, actually, the camera isn't working, so you're stuck with this countdown screens and our voice. Yeah, the clicks. Yeah, yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, we don't know why and how, but somehow the camera isn't recognized by the PC, so it's gonna be a podcast, I guess.
So no, you and Tony are flat out right
Anyway, um, so yeah, that's the thing. It's an ASMR. I'm going to like. Okay, I hope this didn't get your ears destroyed. Um,
No, just
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna find some feathers and everything, and it's going to be yeah. Anyway, so guys, thanks for coming. Basically, this will be the last Q&A. Well, at least the last session from the original questions that we had. But I'm sure we'll do more of this with actually more technical, less technical issues, hopefully, next time. So, oh yeah, railgun. Does that work out? And anyway, so yeah, today with me I have another guest. I remember the first time we did it, I had extra. So actually, today I have another familiar face, at least to some of you. At least I think the GMs know him for sure. I think some players also know you.
Some
think.
maybe.
Well, at least you may have seen him in Discord. It's our. I mentioned last time that we were going to get like a designer or technical person to help us. So that's going to be his job. And with me is, you say your nickname because you'll pronounce it better.
Okay. Hi, I'm Wargroth. I worked before as a product coordinator in S4 League. Right now I went to another game, but I will be back in S4 soon as a game designer.
Yeah, so that's him. And to you can just talk about some stuff while I prepare this nice asset
Yep.
for the players on Paint.
Basically, as you may know, we moved already from NeoWiz and Game On Studio being the developers of the game, and now we're going to move directly for Aeria. We're really excited. The game is moved from hand to hand for the last 9 years, so actually the documentation is quite poor, but at the same time, there's so much that can be done, and so much. Okay. Karasakal is doing some art in background, which is kind of disturbing, but yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done, so we can. Oh, I cannot save here. Okay, so I just took a. Since you cannot see us on camera, I thought you should see something. So I'm adding this picture, add image, and let's see. Okay, yeah, so this is us. I mean, you saw me, I'm the one on the left, so you can compare and then try to understand how Vogelot looks. Yeah, so let me just quickly catch up with text. So voice level is low, I guess it's better now. Are we going to release girl faces, Mr. Boxy? I guess at some point. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the questions.
Sure.
And basically, you can just jump in with any of the questions. So basically, the questions I actually posted on forums. You may have seen them. So basically, the titles are content from us and the future. So we're starting with the content from us. So question 1: what happened with the end content? Level 80. Any new weapons? Any plans? So for new weapon, we don't really have any plans at the moment because we need to fix the balance first, at least to a better level. Once we do that, then we can think about adding more stuff. Other than that, for endgame, we don't really have like a very specific endgame plan, to be honest. But I would like to see things that make the environment more competitive, or like to empower competitive environment. So, for example, we talked about it last Q&A that we want to fix clan system. So that should, for example, when we do it properly, that should add to competitiveness and then give players something to do when they're like at high levels. Another thing we mentioned in last time was also making the leveling like kind of forever. So like you get to level 80 and then you get like a prestige level and so on. So I don't know if we'll do it exactly like this. I saw the thread I wrote there. I will read it in detail when we are at that point. But yeah, so this kind of stuff, like there's no strict plan saying like, okay, let's add, I don't know, PvE rates to the game or something like this. I don't know, anything you want to add? Any?
Yeah, for the balance, we will definitely have to look good at the numbers, how much they're being used and so on, because sometimes it's really complicated to actually like buff or nerf a certain weapon without actually making it overpowered, as you may have noticed on previous patches.
Railgun.
But yeah, totally for the clan system, since mostly depending on the current status may be needed to be worked from scratch, there's a lot of room to actually put like really good content for end players and actually something to do once you have reached this maximum level.
Yeah. And also the existing things like changing the PvE to have better rewards and so on could also add some stuff. But yeah, if you have any ideas, as usual, just post them on forums. So, when is a new map coming? Will you add new maps in the future? So, I will just say that we will probably add some maps, but it's not like our top priority. Cam is broken, sorry. But maybe you want to add anything about this because you actually do 3D stuff and making maps could be actually your...
Yeah, actually, I'm really interested in try to get some new maps into S4, since the mechanics actually allow a lot of movement and a lot of interactable elements in the maps. We could definitely try to search for new stuff like moving platforms, traps, or actually a little bit of more maps that are interactable by itself without actually driving apart from the combat, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, on this we can actually link with another of the old questions, and is some topic that even when I was working on S4 was there. And it's if we will release the removed old maps like Old Moon, Rusty Garden, and so on. This is actually something tricky. And personally, since the old teams had so many issues with those maps to re-implement, it may be something that we will have to recreate, which will be actually a good way actually to test some stuff and try to see if we can actually add even improvements. But yeah, we totally gonna be investigating them and trying to get them back.
Yeah, exactly. If we cannot directly enable them, we can think about basically building them from scratch again. So you still have the old maps. And one question I see in the chat is when new maps will be created, will you delete again maps for the spots? I don't know. I know that there's some sort of limit there, but I don't know about the numbers. So what we will do is technically not delete them, but at some point, I don't know if it will be like with the first map or like after 3 maps or something. At some point, we may have to do kind of a rotation. But in the end, like we will not delete something forever, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, like making a system of prestige or unlimited level. Yeah, we can definitely we can definitely do something like this. I mean, we'll have to see. Like I said, we're investigating, and we're trying to get some patches out, but definitely. Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Like if we have to, if we are limited by the numbers, then we just put them into a rotation. So some maps are not available all the time, but should be fine. And then we can. That could be actually nice. So maybe we can ask the community like which maps you don't like, so that we can actually work on them and then make them better as well. So it will be an opportunity to make things better. So the next question: when will be some new sets weapons released? So I will also link this with the next question, which is when we will see unreleased content. No, actually not unreleased content, but the add one. When can we expect a content update? So here's the thing. The next patch you're going to see, which should come soon, will have some items. And here's the thing. We need to start from something simple. I briefly mentioned this before, and the simplest thing to do is to add items from what we've seen. Also, adding items is basically like half of it is done by developer and half of it is done by the artist. So it's like different people working on it. So our first patch will only be like some items and like one security thing that hopefully will help with blacklist. I say hopefully because just being safe, it should help with blacklist. So basically this patch we hope to release, but this is not a promise. I just want to give you guys something without because we haven't talked about it very clearly, but we are hoping, and if we don't have major issues, which we may have, just to be sure, by the end of this month. So hopefully end of August, last week or so, we can have a patch with a security change and some items. So going on forward, actually it's somewhere in the questions, but I will just say it now. For the next patch, we would like to add an event. So we couldn't do the summer event, but maybe let's call it a fall event or an anniversary event or so on. And then for the following one, we would like to do a balance change. So basically some items and then the event and then balance changes. We should have this in the coming patches. So let me quickly check the chats. Where can I add a question? Well, the form is out now, but you can ask stuff on forums, and yeah, we will answer, or we will take note and then answer in future communications. We don't have licensing issues holding us back. That stuff is solved, but we have technical issues. Basically, like I said last time, the first time we do things, just something happens. It's also one thing I should mention is that the way we developed the game is a bit different from how it was developed in Korea, because I mean it's a bit complicated to explain. In the end, like the core is same. It's just the way that you create versions and everything is a bit different. So documentation is also sometimes not 100% useful. So we need to figure things out. So a series state I just mentioned. Railgun, yeah, we talked about it. Siam's actually participated in the hunt as far as I know. If not, they will, because there's supposed to be a Siam hunt. And prices of items. Yeah, we're sorting these things out. We're changing. We've already been changing stuff in the web model. We will change more, basically, when it comes to sales. Yeah, and for balance, yeah, like Vork said, we will just take a look at numbers. We'll take a look at the threads that you created, and then come up with some stuff. So, next question. When we will see the unreleased content added to the game. It's just like we need to see how much of it is available. Like if we can actually find it somewhere in the files, or if it was created like partially and then abandoned. I don't know, So I cannot really say, but we can definitely check it. Wanna take the next ones? 5 and
Yep.
6.
So for example, we also had if we will add exclusive animations to skins that have none. This is something that it's not in our priority list, as you may know from other major problems, but actually it's a very interesting point that could add really nice stuff and a really nice effect to the game and feeling. So this is something that we could actually look. We have part of our team with actually quite nice mock-up setup, so we can actually check to see how easy or not it could be to implement new animations. Then we got if we're getting a weapon creation event apart from skins.
Well,
For this, maybe you prefer.
yeah. One quick question to answer from chat. We don't work with Korean S4 team anymore because they just don't exist. We are the only ones working on S4 League right now. So for getting weapon creation, like it's definitely possible, but we're not there yet. Like I said, we need to fix the balance. Like, well, not fix it. I think it's the wrong word. We need to get the balance to a more acceptable level. Then we can think about adding more stuff. And yeah, we will definitely include the community in it. We could take the idea from community. We can ask for a more concrete design, but we can do things for sure. But one thing for sure is it's not going to be like, hey guys, we just designed this weapon and it's now in the game and then we're done. It's not going to be like this. We will include you one way or the other. Next one was really release alt maps. We already talked about this.
Yep.
Is there any chance for alt sets to return? So basically, there's a chance, but
Yeah,
it's just
we actually have to just check
Yeah.
how much, like if there were issues with them or not. But sure, as long as we have files and actually we can review that they're working as it should be for you guys, there's totally a chance.
Also, one thing about the Peanut Labs and I think this is what am I missing? Is this one of the sponsors, or are we talking about something else? Because we had something like this. What is the Peanut Lab? But anyway, I just saw actually I misread something there, but I want to say something that we will actually have some changes in the portal as well. We will communicate about this. And there will be some major changes to the website, the web mall, everything. Wait for it. Okay, so I guess these are the content from us questions, all of it.
Yes.
So then the feature.
The future.
What would you like to implement within S4? Okay, so I'll take this. The things we would like to implement in S4 is actually like a long list. There's so many things that we want to do, but like the first things that we will do, like I said, first some patches to get the basic stuff out, so we know how to do events, we know how to apply balance changes, and then of course we will keep of course also security. It goes without saying, it will always be there. Bug fixes. And once we're on track, I think the first thing that we want to do is basically sorting the existing systems to be more relevant. So for example, the random shop, I know it's not in a good place. The coupon shop, we will talk about it also. I think it's
Later,
actually the next question, like what's going to happen? Are you planning to change it or use coupons at all? Definitely we will do something with the coupon shop. There are some ideas, but they're just ideas at this moment, so I cannot really, there's no point in talking about those. But yeah, for sure. Also leveling, like I mentioned, you can change it. Crafting system needs a change one way or the other. I know like all of these are not really relevant anymore. Also collection book, I mean, we had some changes, but it can be much better. So we're trying to figure things out, and we're trying to come up with, instead of just doing something for the coupon shop, we're trying to come up with a bigger picture that makes everything in the game a better experience for you. So like I can just say, okay, let's add 2 items to crafting, but then like what will really have changed? So the idea is to change everything and connect them to each other, that instead of like a like a jacket with patches everywhere, we just have a new jacket that looks better in its own design. So there are a lot of plans, I can say. Daily login, for example, yeah, for sure. We are reading, but thing is, like, we also have to answer the questions that we have, because that's why we are here, and we cannot really catch up with every single question. And really, it's making it hard to read when you make the like caps, small letters thing. It's really, I'm too old for that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we don't. Adding more stuff is, I don't think it's a good idea unless it's like a very specific thing. Just fixing the stuff that's that's there. And for lag issues, I think we will be able to apply this infrastructure change soon, as in maybe next month. That should help with a lot of things. Oh, also, one thing I should mention, we actually have a nice update on, well, internal update, technical update on LATAM. So we probably found the issue because we had like this technical problem with the block. So I think found it. There's still the legal part. We need to do contracts and blah blah blah, talk with noise and so on. But it's actually a big thing, because without a fix for the situation, there was no point in going forward. Now there's a point in going forward. So just saying. Okay. So you want to take the next one? Maybe I talk too much.
Oh, it's fine. Actually, next question is if we're planning anyhow to change the coupon random shop or use the coupons at all.
Yeah.
So in big picture, it's yes. We can't reveal much, but we have quite an idea of what we can do now with the system, as we don't want to keep on the system as it is, as it was quite abandoned. And with few updates, but as here Karasakal was mentioning, we want to actually give it a more like integrated review, as in make it with some kind of synergy of what you can do from the craftings, the random shop, and elsewhere. But yes, it's totally on the plans to revise the coupon shop and to actually have it with a way more useful system.
One question from community is, like the chat, can you bring girl stuff back instead of the guys? I'm not sure what exactly you mean by girl stuff in the game. Like bring girl stuff back. What does it mean? I definitely like. What's the favoritism? We can do everything. We can bring everything. Another question, I saw deleted clans and so on, like anything with clans, like I said in the last one, we want to see what we can fix and everything. Well, of course, we may not fix everything that happened in the past, but we want to change and improve our support. Combi system definitely needs changes. I agree. It will happen. And yeah. Abusing jump term for farming and chatting. That's actually a good question. That's something I've thought about recently. I like the idea that people want to hang out in a room and then just chat. But also, yeah, people like farming in the sense of playing again and again is fine, but farming in the sense of some people AFKing is not. So for this, we may bring back like AFK players getting kicked, or like make it more harsh and so on. But like I said, I also like people talking. So I don't know. Maybe we can add like a mode where you don't get any kind of experience or anything, and you can just still hang out. I don't know. But yeah, I would love to improve the social part of the game somehow. Okay, and of course for jump, also like practicing. Like it could be interesting. For example, when we can add maps to maybe like design maps just for the sake of trick jumps. We could even do
Yes.
like a weekly challenge where you have to do a certain jump in this particular map. It could be interesting. Balance that's different for OS mods. Interesting. Could do. Could do. Let's see. Oh, well, your stuff. I mean, sets faces, but we already have those. Like, and we actually try to balance them in all of our at least sales and like when we put stuff on the game shop, that we put the girl or like versions of the sets as well. I'm not sure if we're missing. Yeah. Anyway, Project Zin. I don't know what's Project Zin. What's Project Zin? There's one. There's like Zin Katana, was it? There was like some Zin sets and weapons, I think, but I don't know what Project Zin specifically is. Advertisements. That's something I think today I wrote in Turkish forums. I'm not sure. We basically we will do more advertising once we're more comfortable with the game. We still do stuff, like there's always some stuff going on, but we will do more when we're doing more. Oh, Project Zin is the original name for S4 League. Wow, I had no idea. Ah, okay, so the old high poly models. You mean like before this downgrade of graphics? So that's I asked the developers about this and they don't really know. So, well, the Korean developers. So we will dig into this. I don't know what we can. I don't know if I think I mentioned this in one of the old streams. Basically, we don't know how this downgrade was done. Was it just, for example, using low poly assets? Was it downgrading the engine, or was it simply not using things? If it's a simple, situation of not using high poly stuff or high res stuff, then we can definitely just start using high poly high res stuff. Or if it's like a simple change in the engine where they limited the amount of memory or whatever to be used, that could also be changed. But if technology was changed entirely, then it may be more tricky. But it's definitely something we talked about. Yeah. So, next question. What was it?
So we have for next question actually, what is the direction of the game? What is the direction that the game will be taking in the future?
Okay.
If you want to approach more an MMO style with chance, element damage and stuff, or more of a pro shooter as Counter-Strike or so on, where it's just pure aim and movement, and go more for a strict get good skills.
I would say like both in ways. Like for example, I like the enchant system. I'm not saying I like the way it is now, like it's a perfect system. I just like the idea that you can have some customization of your character. I think it fits as for League. But I also I don't want to talk about the same things and spend time on this, but we definitely want to change some things about it, especially the accessibility, without paying, for sure. But as for the system itself, I definitely don't want to remove it. It could be interesting to add, like, for example, lightning damage, like freeze, blah blah blah. So maybe you have some chips that do this kind of stuff, or I don't know. It could be interesting, but definitely not something that I would just like I said, I wouldn't make these decisions without talking with the community. But basically, for the overall direction of the game, once we are more comfortable with the security and everything, I would be interested in seeing if we can move to the esports zone a bit. I mean, in the end, like we want to keep S4 as it is. Like we won't suddenly make big changes. But I really enjoyed when we have tournaments and everything, and we would like to do this again. And then maybe make it more professional in certain ways. On top of this, we want to, add more to the story, emphasize and like add some more characters and everything. But like the most important part in all of this is seriously we want to do it with the community. Obviously, we cannot just sit down every day and then have a meeting or something like this. But we will take your feedback. We've been taking your feedback. Like I said, we've just been dealing with technical issues. You will see once we start doing more stuff, once we start getting patches, you will see how different it will be from the previous times when your feedback seemed completely irrelevant. It will be different, that I can promise you. Please stop with all those futuristic sets. Make more casual sets. Let me think about the next sets. So the very next one is not really futuristic.
Not
I wouldn't
really.
call it futuristic. It's not casual either. It's a different style.
Yeah.
For the next one, we have one casual and one a bit different, but they're S4. They're very S4. You will see what I mean. And the next one will probably be the content from the recent contest. So it will be from community. And after that, we'll see. Will you bring us the capsule boost from the loot box? Do you mean like we had random loot boxes and you got capsules, booster capsules? I'm not sure what exactly you mean. If so, maybe we can also add, like, for example, some of them to the daily login rewards as well. For Steam, we will talk about it. And people has tired to hear soon. I know. I said this in the last time before, like, when I explain you things, when I say we have technical issues and everything, this is not to make excuses. I'm just trying to be transparent. In the end, you have every right to demand things from us. You have every right to want a good service, and we are responsible for giving a good service to you. So I would be pissed if I was a player. Even like as where I am not happy with what's going on, but I also know that we're doing our best. So just bear with us, please, and yeah, hopefully nice things will come soon. Like, we're very close now. We're really very close. I will check the face mystery boxes to make sure we have girl faces as well. For sure. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
So we have, will the weekly events of EXP and PEN come back? Like the +2 booster event and PM and EXP event?
Yeah, they will. We just need to really just need to learn how these things are done. This was actually one of the first things that I was talking about when I was pitching the idea of getting the development for S4 leaked to my supervisors. Like, hey, we can do this, we can do that. I had like an initial list, and these were part of that list. I'll move to the next one. Will permanent face hair accessories will be available for PEN on in-game shop? Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, we are revising the shop on web. We will do changes in game. Eventually, I mean, like, at some point, somewhere, yes, I guess. I just don't know if it will be like a thing or that all the time you can do it and how. We'll see.
Yeah, now with control of the full game, actually revising the full content of the shop, as in what will be there in mystery boxes, what will be there for direct
Capsules,
capsules.
Exactly.
It's way more like achievable.
One question. No cinematic trailers, I guess, for new episodes. Wait for it. We have nothing now, but it's something that we may or may not be working on. But it may or may not require some technical knowledge first. So, just saying, nothing here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
something that will be really cool to actually add, but yet again, versus other priorities, it's kinda not there. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I won't comment more about it. Just like green in the back. Since you cannot see, I'm saying it loud. Yeah, so will you add all capsules of every set in game? You wanna?
Yeah. For that, the plan initially is to add standard capsules, the ones for 139 IP, of all sets and weapons, and revised capsules overall. If you're asking whether all of them will be available at all times, that's something to be decided later, as we said that we have to actually replan how we want to
Yeah.
monetize some things in the game, that it will make more sense.
Exactly. Yeah, and we will consider changing basically the content of all capsules. So, you know, there's it's more attractive. Maybe you get, I don't know, like higher chances, or the side items that you get may be more useful. I don't know, something like this. So checking the chat a bit.
Yes, there is one
Oh,
topic
sorry.
that's been talked about, and I
Tell
want
me.
to step in actually, regarding actually the cleaning and why 3 months is not enough. You have to take into account that the game has been already for quite a while, as you might notice, and with quite a while, it's almost a decade, and by that, it's also have been changed from hand to hand to six different dev teams, which
Yeah.
we're right now the sixth one. This means that actually there's a lot of things that were made in a rush, were not documented, were made it quite in not a clean way, and this is something that we don't want to actually just start doing again just in order to rush and push content, and we want to actually have a way better and cleaner code for the game, so that way we can actually add with every patch we can add easier more content.
Exactly. I'll also take two questions. One is, could you please bring back the range of the melee weapons before the balance patch that added the stun to the breaker? I mean, it's possible. I honestly don't know the changes personally, but if you write it on the forums, if you tag me, I will read it. You can also better maybe write it on the like feedback wanted topics if you haven't. So because like soon we will start reading these like in detail, because we need to make some balance changes. So it's possible. Like if it's good for the game, sure, why not? And one thing is, are you working on B02 and B11 errors? So basically B11 for now I think shouldn't happen. It was fixed recently. If it's happening again, please report and we will look at it. For B2, I honestly don't remember, because I like mistake these for each other. I think for B2, like, please just read the forums. There should be a post like on forums or news that we recently talked about this. So like one of the errors you need to talk with Battleye, and the other we are investigating. So yeah. Just checking the questions. As long as the game doesn't load unused unnecessary. Yeah, exactly. We can clear this stuff out. But still, like, they shouldn't do much to the client itself. Well, it depends. Like, it really depends on how everything is structured and how it works. Basically, even for example, if something isn't loaded, it's maybe it causes a security opening, for example, in other ways. Can we have a rollback system for stolen drop time mission tooled accounts? I would love to, but I mean, even if for other reasons, but it's just something we have to develop, and it's a problem for us right now because making a rollback, I think I wrote it somewhere in forums or something, is really a very time-consuming job, and even if we want to do it, we cannot do it precisely, just because of technical issues. And I can actually share one thing here, I guess it's okay, that one of the tools we use to like solve issues was actually developed before our time, before the current, about the last Korean developers time, and they don't have ways of changing it. So this is like the source of our many problems, that we cannot help with clans, that we cannot help with certain things, and we will develop new tools so we can help you with more stuff, basically. Anyway, next question.
So next we have ranked game and matchmaking.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, it's tricky. For example, matchmaking, like, do we remove the server system and force everyone to matchmake? Like, if you want to do the regular thing, like in Overwatch, for example, is it the main mode of playing now? And if we want to do that, like, do we really want to do it? Because it's, in the end, it's a 10-year game, and unless like the majority of the community wants it, I don't think it's fair. But again, like, if it will be good for the community, for the game, then we can definitely do it. Another option would be to add it as an option. But then, like, how much will it be played? Or maybe you change the rewards from quick match that you get more, so like people are using it more. I don't know. And for ranks, I think this will start with the clans when we are able to fix them. And in future, we can maybe expand it to like a personal level as well. But basically, these are things that we want to do, but they're also not easy things to change. So yeah, and then again, with everything, we'd like to be in touch with you to see what makes sense for you guys, what will be fun for you guys. Yeah. I believe as well would have worked better if it was made like this. I think you mean, Shanik, you mean matchmaking? And I guess maybe it's also, for example, you see like the age of the game, like peer-to-peer, for example, is not really a good idea at this time and age, but maybe at the time when connections weren't working like today, it made more sense to get people to just play with each other. That's also like one thing I can say that we're thinking about changing. Like, peer-to-peer is causing so many problems, and maybe instead of trying to fix like countless issues, it's better to just change the system to be a server client system, like methodology. But again, it's a huge undertaking, and it will also open up to a lot of issues. So we'll see and decide. But definitely, like, there are a lot of things in S4 that are outdated and doesn't make much sense at the moment. We'll see. What's a PR answer? What was the question? Will the resources folder encryption be changed? There will be some changes like this. That's what I can say. I cannot talk much about security directly, but yeah, we will have some changes like this. Anyway, I don't know what the... Yeah, exactly. The way it works in Korea is also different. More banned countries in future. Actually, there will be less ban for countries in future, hopefully. And for increasing number of players, we will do, like I mentioned before, more advertisements and things once we start pushing patches. Prices, yeah, prices will change. They're already changing. I cannot really say like this will be the price of things or anything like that, but there will be changes for sure. Yeah, so let's go on with the questions. Will you be mapping new kind of maps, give us new skills, new weapons, now that you have the power to operate how you want, since you're now the owner of the game?
Yes, as mentioned before, a little bit with the maps and so on. We totally want to look into adding new types of weapons, new maps, and so on. But first things first, while the maps may not touch the balance of the game and are more easily controllable, adding new skills and weapons is something that would be better to do after. We're sure that and confident that we have a balanced game in terms of actually different interactions in between weapons. But yes, we will totally look into adding more stuff into subsequent patches.
Yeah, exactly. Would you be able to allow for community submissions for content such as weapons, skills, maps, UI improvements, and other things? Perhaps even add a feature where they could be tested before submission. Another question, will you guys accept recolors, custom recolors from players? Yes, definitely. Well, maybe we can't do every single thing. Like, I don't know if we can allow for UI improvements, just like if it's technically possible. But we have a contest now that's ended recently. We will announce the winner soon this week. And this is just the beginning. I can say, like, and I said before, we started using this term, like extra funded, as for family, and we really mean this. Like, we want you to be part of this development, because it's your game. It's it's our game. You are the players. We are the game itself, and we need to work together to make it good. And as a player myself, like, I've seen how it is with companies who just do their own thing, and how it is with companies who actually listen to the community. So, like, I don't want to be the guy where players say, "Oh, only if they listen to us, like, this game would be great." I don't want to be that guy. So definitely we will do it together, and part of it I would personally like to be getting some content from you guys, as in, like, making your imagination be part of the game. And if it's technically possible, if we can manage it, we can legally manage it and everything, maybe we can work out a model where you can actually submit your creations in not just concept, but like actual 3D stuff, and maybe you can add your maps to the game and so on. I would love to do it, but I cannot promise it because of reasons. Like, we need, it's a very complicated subject, and the more you think about it, the more we thought about it, the more potential issues we've seen. So we need to think about it, but we definitely want to do it. Maybe providing the original textures of costumes in the forum for a retexture context. Yeah, sure. We can definitely do something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
If we open actually the doors for like recolors and so on, we will actually try to get like a platform or something to actually provide the original files. So everyone that actually wants to mess with the files and check how to add new cool skins and new possible models can actually do it without problems, with some definitions of the guidelines that we need to actually implement. And then we can review it on our side and actually implement. But yeah, it's something that it could be really interesting to have.
Yeah.
It will add a lot of content, and actually you guys procure for us, and it will help us grow the S4 community really, really in a nice way.
Yeah. One thing I will just say once, like, I simply out of principle will not talk about the GM team or CM team criticization. Like, first of all, I think it's barely legal. Like for example, I don't know how many of you are actually working, but for example, you cannot talk about someone's performance. It's simply not legal. And of course, like with GMs and everything, it's not as you know, it's not like an actual work. But for me, it's still unethical. This doesn't mean that I'm ignoring it. It's just that it's not something I will publicly talk about. If you have things to report, you can report to CMs, you can report to me. But basically, we do want a good GM team. But also, our criteria is not simply the last day that they logged in the game with their GM account. There are different things that the GMs do, some of which is not visible to you. So, if you want to be part of the team, you can apply. If you see any problems, you can report. But yeah, the rest is basically up to us, and I will not talk about anyone in particular in a public forum. So, yeah. Will S4 be on Steam? I would like it to be, but not now. Not in this situation. Basically, first we need to get our security to a better point. We need to get our balance and design to a better point. Then we can go there. Because if we go now, we will just be one of these games with like probably a, terrible review rates.
Yeah.
And it will not bring us new players. It will just make things worse for us. So once we are there, we can definitely do it. Vital shock capsules to the shop. Yeah, we can. We could add it for sure. So yeah, I mean, yeah, at the current rate, at the current status, I can see negative reviews because the thing is like most of you have been with this game for a long time, so first you like the game and you know what the story was. But when you're someone who's completely new to the game and then you just see what's going on, and then it will be a shock for them. New players can't do anything with Smurf at Rookie Channel. Yeah, that's one of the things that actually bothers us. That, for example, new players are subjected to Smurf, but worse, to hacker accounts. Basically, I personally have no idea on how to fix it other than fixing the hacks, for example. For Smurfs, I guess it's more dealable, and it's like pretty much in every game. But once we are maybe more secure with the security, well, we feel better with the security, then we can change like the limits of the newbie channel and everything somehow. I am PM Karasakal, the product manager for the game, and with me is Wargoroth,
who will be game design in the following months.
Yeah. So would the port to Android ever be possible? I don't think so. It will be very interesting. It's just, like, let me put it this way. If we decide to do it one day, it would probably be like building a game from scratch rather than
Totally,
porting.
I really doubt that actually the current status of S4 actually allows any of the libraries,
exactly.
and it's not really prepared to be on a mobile phone.
Yeah, it's true. It would be interesting, but I don't think we will go there. I mean, if we get to the point where we're like very popular and then it's going great, and then we're like, okay, let's do it on Android. I think first thing I would like to do before that is actually changing the engine to Unreal or something, so that we do better on this PC. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, like Android thing. Still, could be interesting. And if you're one of these people who can hack like mobile phones and then put like Windows stuff in it, if you do it, show it to us. I would love to see it actually. I'll just scroll up to the chat. Do you know anything about the concept custom maps that were hinted the last clan system? Um, yeah, just no, I'm sorry. Even like basically this clan system rework was done by the developer team before the
yeah.
final Korean team that we worked with, and apparently they didn't leave anything behind. So like the last Korean team didn't know about those changes. Like they actually even told me that there were some stuff that was changed, or like some part that should seems like they should be changed but wasn't changed, and they didn't want to touch it because they weren't sure like if there was a problem with it or not. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, I think I saw quite a while in the chat a question about the UI changes. This is something that, yes, it will be actually changed in the future to actually have a way more, let's say, uh, coherent style within the game, and with actually some cool features that we can improve.
Yeah.
And yet again, since some of the features may be reworked, we may even change positions of buttons and so
Yeah.
on to actually give a way more intuitive navigation within the UI.
Yeah, I mean, small changes to UI, I guess, won't be so different, so difficult. But like big changes actually take a lot because you need to consider so many things, and especially like if you're about to change a system, then you also need to consider that you work with the UI artist, UX, and developer, everyone. So it's like actually more complicated than you initially maybe have imagined. At least for me, it was. I was like, okay, we can change it. It's easy, and then I noticed how complicated it can get. Is it possible to remove what kick? We've talked about this sometimes. On one side, I see that it's abuse and it's not cool. On the other side, it's a required feature, I think. Not required, but it's a nice feature. So I don't know. But one thing I can say is I really like what Blizzard did with Overwatch. But it's like a part of a huge design, so I can't say like we will definitely do it this way or anything. But I really like that you can talk with players with the integrated voice, and then you give them positive votes basically in different, like it's good teammate and like good calls and so on, like sportsmanship. Like I like this. I like it more than I like rewarding people more than punishing them. But also for now, I think we need it. We may maybe bring a way to give some constraints. So like maybe you can do it like once per day or something like this, like 3 times every 8 hours. I don't know. So that you want to use it in times when it actually matters and not abusing it to kick the people you don't like. Rates for S4. Yeah, I mean, I want to definitely improve the PvE mode. I want to add new stuff to the PvE. Increase the rewards and make it less like, going into a corner and then setting the machine gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, yet again, when we actually check a little bit what are the limitations for the map,
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
adding new stuff for PvE or reworking some of the levels could be really, really fun.
Yeah.
As most of them are like almost like a corridor or just a square,
Yeah.
and they
Exactly.
don't have much stuff to play around. But
Yeah.
indeed, it could be a really nice
Yeah.
addition.
We need to learn if this is like a technical constraint that you can't do much, or is it like they just didn't do much. Are you a Heyday player, by the way? Someone asked that. Are you a Heyday player, or what does your Discord profile picture mean? What's your Discord profile picture? He doesn't remember. He doesn't seem to remember his profile picture.
Nope, not a Heyday player.
Okay.
If that's the question.
Yeah, we're talking with Betlight to see what we can improve. We may have some news about this soonish, but like with a hashtag soon. Yeah. Is there a way to make distance lag more tolerable? Well, one thing is the peer-to-peer system can bring you lag if you're playing with people, that that you're not connected closely. But server-wise problems, we will soon have like this infrastructure change that I mentioned before, so I think it will help with a lot of things. Can we kick our system kink lobby AFK players? Yeah, we like yeah, maybe, I don't know, we need to think. Raid weapon with special effects. Maybe. The thing is, one thing that's good now is that, like I said, we have to get this first patch out, but we will be able to add more items. Like, it won't be hard for us to add multiple items, so we can actually have like different colors and everything. And for example, we could add like colors versions that are maybe just exclusive to items, to events, for example, or to, you know, like to pen, but they're not like, you know, they could be still like cool different colors, and I don't know, we can do a lot. You can just make your own threads. Like, I saw someone also ask, like, can you make a place in forums where we can suggest stuff? Like, it's already there, just make a thread, and if you want to make sure that I see it, tag me, so I get a notification from the forum system, and that's all. Will you ever add drones that act like a sentry? Maybe. So can you show us some sneak peeks at future item designs beside those already shown? No, because we don't have more. I mean, we have. What have we shown? I'm thinking, like, we've shown some on the forums that Skyger stole from me. And then I heard some people saw some stuff in the previous Q&As behind the sheets. I don't know anything about this. But yeah. No, but seriously, we have some designs for the next couple patches, but one thing I would like to change compared to past is, you know, like when we had a patch, it was like, hey, tomorrow we have a patch, and even not even tomorrow, like it will be like, hey, today we have this patch, and then, you know, that's all, like it's done. So I would actually like to do it like everyone else, basically, and then announce patches a bit ahead of time. So, you know, like maybe we can at least start teasing and so on, so you'll see some of the stuff. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, what else? I was thinking about talking a bit about the stuff that we will add, or we think adding. More like, you know, just like the crazy plans we have. But we already have a lot of the questions answered. Like, for example, adding a way for players to add their items to the game is one of the crazy plans that I have. I would really like to do it.
Indeed.
Adding maps that you create. Steam is also still kind of like an, I think, crazy idea. And I think we've actually answered all the questions that we have in our hand.
Yeah. Also regarding actually sharing content that we have in development, most probably we will actually plan ahead to have some dev blogs and so on from the team to actually have some updates on what we're looking into, what's the bloggers, what is actually being made, and showing a little bit of a sneak peek into future content.
Yeah, definitely. I think we will actually have some like small interviews with our lead developer, artists, and team members. So, you know, like you can learn a bit about them personally, and then you can also have some insight into the development of stuff. I don't know how we will do it. Maybe we will ask, like, we will have a thread in forums. Maybe we'll do like a AMA on Reddit or somewhere. Maybe we'll do it on Twitch. I don't know. We haven't decided yet, but we will definitely give you some more insight into what's going on and how things are being done. Will you add pets that can do damage or heal? I don't think we will directly add it. I don't even know if it's technically possible.
Yeah.
But we could think about having some different stats. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we
It
can
could be possible.
add some stuff, but having actual skills, active ones, it would be better actually to have it directly on the character
Yeah.
rather than actually via pets.
Yeah.
But it's something that we can just review and so on, and depends on how the field gives it for the game. As if you just equip one of the pets and just starts giving you skills and whatever, it could actually be too much overpowered.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we could have like a skill that animates your pet to do an attack.
Maybe.
But it would be a skill, not a pet thing. Yeah, Zandrok, after the release of a patch with new models, show the evolution and changes you did to a new object to get the end result. I am trying to gather as many different versions of the concepts and things so we can do
Yes.
this actually. Definitely want to do it more. What else? Will gameplay be affected? Dodging wall jumps running. I mean, maybe. More wall jumps, someone asks. Maybe. Could you possibly make it so that the items you have for like let's say 5 days don't expire when don't use it? I had some items that were like 3 days and I never wore them when they expired. Maybe. Even if not that, I definitely want to make the time limited items more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
We are discussing a few ways. Some of it may not even require development. We'll talk about it when we have more. Yeah, we will definitely make a development roadmap. Like, we internally have some things, but a lot of it requires investigation and so on. So when we have more concrete plans, we can share them. Will you attempt reviving Galleon TD? I heard that, yeah, before. Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I think last time, I hate Galleon because I always get lost in it. But for you guys, we can do it. Make S4 like LoL and Fortnite, add payable dances and emotes. I mean, payable or not, like that's not the point. But we did talk about adding dances and emotes. Because I think we have somewhere like a mocap thing.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it actually before on one of the topics, but yes, we have actually some really nice setups for mocap and for actually editing animation. So it should be really fairly easy to add new emotes and new stuff on the game. So yeah, it's just a matter of seeing how to implement them in the title.
Yeah. I would love to do it. Like one of the things I really like Fortnite was doing is that they followed like community and then they added stuff. Like for example, they did this dance contest and then they added the first one, but they also added one of the ones that didn't win but was very popular in Reddit, and they added like I love this kind of stuff. I would definitely do it if we can do it.
Yeah, I see
emotes
also
were yeah.
some questions about like really like DD modes with everyone switching weapons whenever they want. In regards of that, we actually plan to play around a little bit with the custom events and the modes.
Mhm.
So in that we will actually play with some of new ideas that we can check,
Yeah.
and basically we will have it on rotation for some time. And in case we actually see fit and the community really likes some modes, we can actually think about having them as permanent.
Exactly.
But initially, just we will check for new modes and start investigating what can be done.
Yeah.
Would also be a really good exercise for us to have more control over the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, expect really crazy stuff going on around in custom modes.
We can there's so much we can do. Like I'm really like we're all so I said the last time as well. like we just want to get one patch out, like figure these things out so we can start doing this kind of stuff. We have so many ideas we want to apply. Can we have an anniversary event? Hopefully, yes. I really hope that you will. Like I said, we hope to have by the end of August one patch, which will only like very simple. It's the simplest patch that we can do, with some items and a security change. And the next one, the next thing we want to do is an event, which should be somewhere in September, toward the end, if things go as planned.
Mhm.
And of course, then comes October, so it will be like an autumn like / anniversary event. Yeah, we definitely want to do it. Oh, we will have more developers and everything. We actually have someone joining, I think, next month. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think we have to wrap up. So one thing I will finally, like as final announce, is that we're going to release an S4 comic. So this
Yes.
will come sometime this month. We're trying to decide if we, because we don't have like our capacity in this is a bit limited, so we either have basically like a couple pages every month, or I don't know, like 6 pages. Like, it depends. Like, it can be 8 at some point, or so. Or if we release all of it at once and then we don't have anything for a few months. So we'll see. But you will have something this month for sure.
Yes.
And for the rest, like I said, always like this, just write stuff on forums. This was the last of our Q&A sessions, in the sense that we got the questions from you on forums before and then we answered them. But it won't be the last of our communication with you guys. We will have more stuff coming. But we just haven't decided yet.
No.
So, yeah. That's all. Oh, also one thing I almost forgot. If you're going to Gamescom, I will be there. I will be in the Gamigo party, and I will try to make myself available before. I still don't want to announce it in case we have an issue, but I would like to actually have some stuff to give away there. We'll see. You will see it in the forums or news. We will announce it. But worst case scenario, I will be in the Gamigo party. So if you're going, please find me. And yeah. Anything from you?
No, I'm really looking forward toward what the future departs for S4 League. It will be tough, but at the same time, there's so much that can be done and a lot to investigate. So we expect actually to start very soon to give you guys some new, fresh content, because the game has been stalled for so long, and it really needs it. And apart from that, we actually really want to this time collaborate a lot with you, with the community, to have some feedback back and forth, and just check for something really open, really clear, and really honest in terms of development. And yeah,
Yeah.
see you in S4.
Yeah. Well, then thanks again for watching us, and yeah, see you next time.
See ya.